What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news and the touchiest topics with a hint of what, Terence?
Dollop of good old humor, man.
Dollop of good old humor.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about something very humorous, man.
Is it really? Is it really humorous?
I mean, it can be.
Depends on which side of the coin.
Depends on how much of it you have, lah. We're going to be talking about money, man, or like finances. And we
Wait, talking about finance or finances?
finance and finances, lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a finance related podcast. But we're not going to be doing it ourselves. We have a very special person in the studio who's going to be offering a lot of like on the ground insight, above the ground insight. And basically, yeah, hopefully this will be as informational as it is entertaining.
Yes.
So, let us welcome our guest, sitting right in front of us right now, Wenbin, who is the head of GrabFin Singapore.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks
Welcome,
for coming
man.
here, man.
Yeah, welcome.
So, the first question is, like, okay, I know Grab. I think everybody has heard of Grab. Everybody has heard of Grab Eats, Grab Pay. What is GrabFin? It is something that just came out recently, but what is it?
GrabFin, you're right, just came out recently, but it is a unification of it's a brand that unifies all our financial services that we've put out in the market since 4 years ago. So it's a consolidation of our payments, lending, wealth management, and insurance services, all under the GrabFin brand.
All under GrabFin.
All under GrabFin.
And
brand.
you're the head of GrabFin Singapore.
That's right.
Okay, so
Can I just ask before anything, right? Yeah. I mean, for those of you not watching the video, Wenbin is decked out in a very beautiful green top today. Is that like a daily thing that you wear, or is it just happened that today you're wearing green?
It just happened. I bought this 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
so it was destined, lah. It was
It was destiny. It was fated. 15 years ago, he knew that he'd be here talking about this.
So now, like when every day, do you is green always doesn't need to be part of your wardrobe, or is subconscious really?
Typically black.
Typically, okay.
Okay. I see. I'm colorblind, like I thought it was brown.
You thought it was brown.
I mean, I wasn't sure if it was green or not.
Okay. No, he's seriously colorblind.
I'm seriously
Yeah.
colorblind. And literally in secondary in JC, there was this one instance where the green-brown deficiency resulted in an argument between me and my friend. Long story short, I told him to take my green bag. He was like, "There's no fucking green bag." I was like, "It's right there." He was like, "There's no green bag." I took it. He was like, "It's a brown bag." So we had a fight because of that, lah. But that was a tangential thing that is totally not related to what we are talking about today.
Well, actually, kind of related, lah.
Why?
You know, the people say when you talk about money, it's like the green bag,
green,
and
the green.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, true.
The green, yeah. But not in Singapore, lah. Singapore is multicolored, lah.
It is multicolored in many ways, lah.
Yeah.
But so okay, you're the head of GrabFin now, but like I mean, the finances thing, right? Now it's almost like the hot topic in the world. You know, everybody's an investor. But how right now, you know, the whole market also seems to be crashing. And you're head of GrabFin. Like every day, do you wake up do you feel like you're going to war or not? Like, do you like just in the space of finances? It's like so like the sea is so choppy. Yeah, is it something that is like every day is a brave new world kind of thing, or how do you deal with it?
Yeah, it's also important to be circumspect. Every day we wake up with uncertainty, but it's also important sometimes to take a look at history. And we've seen, many cycles in the past that has similar characteristics. If you look back 50 years, 100 years, you've seen generally a period of prosperity and peace leading on to a shorter period of turmoil. Yeah, like in the Great Depression, following the period of abundance in the 20s. Yeah, and then followed by war. So I think maybe sometimes we can gain some lessons from looking at history, and allows us then to be a bit more circumspect and patient and think longer term. That's how I try to calm myself down. Otherwise, every day is very angsty, right?
Yeah.
To me, finance is it's a bit like I mean, the analogy to me is a bit like working in a hospital, on a what does it mean in a good day for someone who works in the finance industry? There's just sometimes it's about volatility where some people make their money. Sometimes it's about only the safer stocks that you make money. So everyone makes money different ways within the financial industry as well. So even like now what we're seeing like a down market and all. I think there's still people who are doing well, and there are people who have suffered a lot as well. So I mean, someone in your position, you probably see a good mix of both, right? And that's where probably you have to steel yourself against all the the emotions that come with all the markets movements and all.
Yeah, because it is emotional. Like, I mean, for me personally, I only got into really looking into my finances like a few years ago. Last year, I did jump on the retail investing bandwagon. Probably not the best time to jump on it. But yeah, it has been quite eye-opening. And then it made me think about, when I was growing up, it was never something that was talked about back then. Like I'm in my late 30s now. Terence is also in his late 30s, even though he would say he's in his mid 30s.
Mid to late.
But do you feel that is also changing now? Like people talking about finance more openly?
You're still millennials, right?
I have no idea anymore, man.
Yeah, I do consider myself.
We're millennials, right?
Yeah. I think I barely just
like the gate was closing and then you slipped in.
That's right. Yeah. So on that point, right? It's important to also realize, at least in my role, that a lot of our users have very different access to information, and their attitude to money and finances differs. Some pay more attention and they get a lot more information. Some are actually, price takers. They want to do good. They want to progress in life, but they are not so interested. So my job is actually to simplify, like how we have simplified ride-hailing, how we've simplified food deliveries. The next step for us at GrabFin is to simplify and give access to financial services to the mass public that would otherwise have been unable to access all these services. Make it easy to understand.
So that's the philosophy behind GrabFin. That means it's about simplifying, financial products and all for everyone. Is it? But so how does someone? I mean, I just want to step back a little bit, since we have you here, right? How does someone get into this kind of? I mean, it's quite a unique role. You're sort of sitting in between finance, and technology, right? And you got to understand both roles pretty well. And it's not easy, It's tough, right? I mean, as you can attest, the engineering degree is not easy to get, right?
Yeah,
and then I studied finance also. So finance itself was I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's still not a walk in the park either. So you kind of have to be the in between. How do you get to this position, and what do you do throughout your life to prep you for this, basically?
It would be too much to say that everything I did in the past.
Since you got a green t-shirt
since the
years
green
ago, this is my destiny and I'm going to move towards it.
Yeah.
Because you did grow up in Singapore.
I did grow up.
And for a while, probably we were all in the same kind of, we're not too far in age gap, but we are now in media, you're in finance. So
So I think what led me here was a combination of dumb luck and taking on opportunities as they come about like that. But that's more of a personal career story. But how I help to always make sure that I'm grounded, be it as my early role at Grab in the strategy team when it was still called Grab Taxi. Moving on to start out GrabPay, and then going on to our Indonesian unit to run operations for the digital wallet, was always to maintain a dose of empathy. We really need to put ourselves in the shoes of our users.
I see.
Yeah. So whenever we do a communication, a piece of comms or push notification, just imagine you are a user receiving this sentence, and how will you react to it? That is key to making sure that we deliver simple and accessible services.
Yeah. And that's across, like what you said, the ride sharing, delivery, and now finance.
Very important for finance because it can be quite jargony. can be quite jargony. But sometimes you cannot get away from including technical terms because that's the nature of the industry. But we try to break it down and make it easy to understand.
I see.
And how exactly do you guys do that?
So for example, like right cover. Right cover is fundamentally an insurance product. It's one where, as a passenger, if you opt in for right cover, and if the driver or the car comes later than promised, you will be, as a passenger, you'll be issued a voucher. So there's actuarial science behind it, and underlying it is an insurance product.
Sure.
But most users on our site don't even know that it's an insurance product. For them, it's additional assurance and peace of mind.
So then how do you communicate the fact that, okay, like Grab started off ride sharing, then, deliveries and food, but then now finance is this new frontier, right?
Yeah.
And to me as a user, I am thinking, okay, I used to use Grab to get from point A to point B. Then I use Grab to get food from point A to point B. And then now I use Grab to get things from point A to point B. But why should I put my money with Grab?
Actually, you just sparked a thought. So you mentioned you used to use Grab to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, Grab is a mobility company, moving things.
Wow, nice catch.
Moving people. Then moving food, moving your groceries. And then the next step then is we want to help people be part of social mobility.
Oh, I thought you were going to say move money. It's also like some Breaking Bad thing.
It's still, I think it's important to wrap it around the user.
Correct.
So it's all around social mobility, inclusion. Helping people to move up the...
Sure.
Oh, wow, that was like, I just threw you an alley-oop. I swear to everyone listening, that was not scripted. That was not a talking point. It just so happened that, it was a perfect alley-oop and you dunked it.
Mobility.
But even then, like, see, that is something that didn't even occur to me, and it's probably not going to occur to the user. So do you face these kind of like questions from the user saying, yo, I only want to use you guys for these things, not finance?
Yeah.
So what's threading through all these different aspects of mobility is one fundamental thing is trust and safety. So being able to move from place to place. I think we're all blessed in Singapore, but there are other cities and countries in Southeast Asia where it used to be very unsafe to take taxi.
Yes.
And so trust and safety is at the core of a lot of the things that we do. And then so how we build in technologies to keep our riders safe, our passengers safe. We build in technologies to keep people's money safe when they leave their card on our system. So we have recently garnered the Data Protection Trust Mark in Singapore, one of the few tech companies to have that. We are also on the Payments Council, co-chair of a work stream on anti-scam. So in light of the incidents that happened last year, Payments Council set up a work stream with the MAS, and Grab is a co-chair of that work stream. So we are closely working with a lot of industry players to beef up and strengthen security.
Got it.
And hence we want to make sure that kind of philosophy continues on as we move into financial services.
Okay. So you said that you started out with a team when it was still Grab Taxi and all that. And as Haresh mentioned, there's a lot of different products that you probably have overseen and everything in different industries as well. But what is the one thing about the culture at Grab that has carried on from the first day you stepped in until today when you are launching GrabFin and everything?
And this is my own personal experience. What I liked about Grab and why I stayed for 7 years. When I joined, I thought, maybe I'll leave after 2 years. It's hard to plan that far. But why I continued on after 7 years and continue to enjoy my work is because it is pretty informal. It's easy to get things done internally because we are all generally mission driven.
Got it.
Working on the customer and the outcome. And we are very friendly. We're all locals, primarily locals. Of course, we've grown and we've taken on board a lot of talents from around the world, but a lot of us are grounded in the markets that we serve. So it's the intuition is there. Yeah. And it feels very real. You are creating a product that goes out into the market, and if it doesn't do well or as promised, your auntie or uncle is going to ring you up and say, hey, what's this? Our friends are going to WhatsApp us, each of us, and say, hey, this thing doesn't make sense.
Do you get a lot of that? Like anytime? So in future I cannot get maybe not the Grab. If I cannot get a Grab car, I won't message you. But maybe if my Grab Pay is got issues, I can message you.
Sure.
No, I've had friends who I think they worked in Grab, and then I think at the point when it was starting out, then even me, I'm like, although I was a millennial, I'm pretty bad with like new apps and stuff. So every time I had an issue or something, I would message their friend directly. Hey, what's that? Send him screenshots. Then after a while, he stopped replying me already. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he listens to this. But when I was do you get that? Do you get that yourself?
We do. You personally? I do too. And it's important to be appreciative that people actually care enough to send you something.
Correct.
And it helps to improve the product bit by bit, step by step.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's important to get a second line to help me ignore these people. No, you didn't do that.
That's what we do. Anytime people don't like to watch the shows we do, I'm like, well, there's a lot of other shows to watch.
Last time at Singapore Airlines also, I used to work like 4 years after I left the company. I had one friend who had some issue with his booking. He's like, hey, can help or not? I think
the website, the legendary.
Was it you?
No.
Oh, not you. Okay. I won't be surprised if Terence messaged me in the past. No, Scoot. You told me there were things. So you do get that, but just now you mentioned that even the aunties and uncles will tell you. So how do you also stay in touch with your end user?
Use the product yourself. Use the product yourself as if you're a consumer or a passenger.
Yeah.
But do you do walk the MP sessions and all to go and meet the public and all?
It's not so, scripted.
Yeah.
You just take a phone out, go to the hawker center and start using it yourself.
Oh, okay. It's not like you like those reality TV shows where the boss dress up in with some makeup and everything and it pretends to be an employee for the day. You don't do that kind of thing, right?
There's a reality TV show. Yeah.
Well, let us know if you want. We always do this kind of hidden camera stuff. We do it very well. But actually, I also wanted to ask, Grab, back then it started the day when there was still Uber and all these things, and then because you were talking about the culture from day one you were there, and Uber also they were known for a certain type of culture, the hustle kind of culture and all that. So what and nowadays I think now there's also a bit of a shift in the workplace towards thinking more about things like mental health, thinking about the welfare of employees, and like what you say, empathy. So what shifts have you seen within Grab in terms of the culture that have also surprised you pleasantly?
I think that as we and we are appreciative of this, as we become a bit more successful, we are able to attract people from around the world to come join us, and they bring with them very diverse perspectives, and they've seen certain challenges and constraints from different industries that can then contribute to what we are doing. The best way to create innovation, in my view, is the intersection of stuff, be it the intersection of cultures or the intersection of industries. Then you cross-pollinate. And that helps to make things even better, as opposed to playing around in your own pond every time.
I see.
So that's something that has shifted because of our growth, and also because now we are moving into from rides to food into GrabFin, and then you see the intersection of all this, creating new products that we can then offer.
So actually, can you give a concrete example or something? And sorry for beating down this, but it's really very rare that you see companies grow from literally. I can remember when Grab was startup, blah blah, and now they're talking about IPO and all these things, and then launching all these new business services. So I think if anything, there's a lot that people can also learn about how do you manage innovation. Make sure that the culture in a fast-growing company stays the way it is or evolves with times as well. So that's why I keep asking, can you give specific examples? Because I think it will be helpful. It will be very helpful.
Examples of intersecting.
The intersecting. What do you mean by intersecting?
So right cover that I mentioned earlier is one. Embedding insurance behind point-to-point transport, right? Then Earn Plus is also another one where our users can put some investments aside into short-term bond funds, but at the same time we make sure that it's tagged and attached to our wallet, such that the user can then redeem instantly, no lock-in.
I see.
Yeah, and that's the accessible and simple bit of our philosophy. So traditionally, if you were to put aside some money into such investment grade funds, you probably have to first be an accredited investor. You probably have to work through an agent or a broker. And then once it's in, there's probably a lock-in.
Sure.
Yeah, but with this, there's no lock-in. You redeem instantly into the wallet, into a spending wallet.
And that is the product that also recently got launched, Earn Plus.
Yes, that's right.
Right. And that like what you said, there's the investment thing, but how was the name decided? Or like how do you all decide names in general before we go into the details?
Names are very emotional things.
Yeah.
And it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
I would say that's not my expertise. I generally leave it to the product marketeers.
I see. So there's a lot of basically what research that goes into it and all.
There's a lot of research and consumer surveys and feedback that we gather.
Yeah. So, but when you say that, I understand the product side of thing, the cross-pollination, but how do you get the people to actually come up with these ideas and put them through, and manage to push them through in a way that fits the philosophy of what you do? That's what I was trying to understand, like how you all come up with these ideas, basically. How do you remain innovative and ensure that people, cross-pollinate and work together and things like that?
We make sure that the teams are not... So I think we structurally, we need to design teams that are not driven individually by their success metrics. So your success doesn't come at the detriment of my failure or success. So everybody starts to work towards a common goal. So that's one. In org design, we try to make sure that there's a commonality towards success. Then we try to create horizontal platform teams which understand that whatever they're building should always be built for scale.
Got it.
So, for example, my identity system or my fraud system, when I build it for a transport use case, it's also relevant to food delivery, or it's also relevant to financial services. So then we start to be able to bring across innovation and technology and build on that previous investments that can be applied to newer services.
I see.
Yeah.
What's our common goal, Terence?
Our common goal. I mean, just in terms of working with other types of creative people, I think I totally understand what Wenbin is saying about cross-pollination of different people from different, like say different mediums like animation, working with live action. And you talk to each other and you learn things about each other and what are the pain points and your processes. And then after that, it takes a longer time, but after that, when you actually start work on something together, there's some magic to it. There is some magic to it.
It's like if we were to do the podcast individually, it would be different.
Of course. Yeah. So no one calling you out on the strange pronunciations of words. And
no one calling you out on your generalizations and stereotypes.
Yes, of course. Right. Yes.
Even like culinary, right?
Yeah, correct. Fusion.
You gentrify nasi lemak.
Yeah.
And you create value you can sell for 10 times the price.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And you make it convenient.
You make it
a recognizable brand such that, you can tell whether it's an auntie or a young person. Oh, go and buy this nasi lemak for me. They know which store.
So if we gentrify Yalabat, it'll be yes, however. Right. Yes, however, not Yalabat. Was that a bad joke?
I don't even know that fits the meaning of gentrify. But anyway,
again, we digress. But going back to what you were saying about so when going back to what I said earlier about people like investing in a Grab product or something, right? I know how it's meant to make finance more accessible. But then now, isn't it almost like with the market in such a shit situation, making it more accessible to people, there's that risk also, right? It's like you're inviting people to the fire. Yeah. Or is that how would you respond to that?
I think education is key, and also being upfront with if there's any risk involved is also key. An important point to note is it's never right to time the market. If you try to time the market, you generally end up in the losing.
So what do you mean by time the market?
Oh, good. Buy the dip.
Buy the dip.
Buy the dip. Right. And we don't want to encourage our users to have that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's just irresponsible.
Yeah.
Where we are coming from is then you think longer term and based on your own needs. If you are young, you can maybe have a longer horizon, take a bit of a longer risk. And of course, it's also part of a diversified portfolio. And then you work out what your needs are, you then periodically put in some amount of money that you can part with that fits into your spending habits. Say 500 every month, 200 every month, $20 every month. Set it aside, dollar cost average out. History has shown us time and time again it works.
But even then, you still need to have that additional, a layer of like, you don't just park like the money anywhere, right? You still need to add that layer of discretion, right?
You need to add the layer of a bit of a science that there is a part of your wealth that you can set aside for cash, highly liquid, but probably subject to inflation. There's a part of your wealth that you probably set aside for lower risk products that is not so volatile and you will continually set aside. And probably if you are up for it, you have the appetite for it and you're knowledgeable enough, there's a bit of money that you can set aside that you're willing to stomach some volatility. And that's where you get into a higher risk tech stock, growth stock, or even other alternative investment products.
Because when you said that history has showed us time and time again, like generally, I've also seen those graphs that go upwards. But if you were to have gotten into investing last year, everything that history has shown to be growing upwards, including what I recall reading up to be the safer bets, like those index funds and all, everything is going to shit now. So what the hell is happening? Right. I know initially you said it's cyclical, there's history, but every time I try and read up, I'm like, okay, why this is happening? I get more confused to a certain extent. So how should people like me think about that? Think about all the turmoil, yet we still should park some money into this big turmoil.
So it's almost like you're looking at Google Maps, right? And then you start zooming out. And the snapshot in time that you're looking at is no longer just 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah.
And the snapshot in time becomes 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And then you can see the trend. So that's one. But that also comes with your own personal situation. What's your own horizon? And if you are a retiree, we wouldn't be talking to you about, setting aside some funds for, the next 5 to 10 years, because you probably need it soon for your retirement. And that's why you really need to put more of your portfolio in less risky products. But if you are a fresh graduate, just starting out, starting to get into the habit of savings, then I think something along the lines of a periodic saving product that you can set aside money and have the discipline to set aside money every month, and that has a longer horizon will help. Yeah.
I see.
So I mean what we're hearing here is it does require some measure of discipline and interest from people to get into financial products and investing and all that. Do you see more young people being more interested these days, or do you see the reverse where actually they're more YOLO and just like
the fire movement?
Yeah, fire movement. And what fire movement?
The financial independence, retire early. It's more like very short-term thinking.
Yeah. Well, what do you see out there?
And this is my my own personal observation and talking to some folks who are in the industry, it's a mental model that has not just affected young folks. It is also a circumstance of the times in the past 10 years where, we've coming out of the 08 crisis, a lot of growth, a lot of money flowing, a lot of cheap money, and that has fueled a lot of consumption and growth. So it feels like everyone has that anybody in the street would have a golden touch. And it has conditioned us to think that that kind of situation will last forever. And that drives a lot of short-term thinking and a lot of short-term expectations that I need to be able to make 20%, 30%, 10x type of returns in everything that I do. That is unrealistic. And that's something that, unfortunately, for a lot of for you and I, maybe we've gone through one or two cycles. We went through the dot-com bust.
Yep.
But for young folks, this is the first taste of what the market would have been. And that probably has shaped their mindset.
So what you're saying is I can go to my younger cousin and say, you have no idea what the world is about. I know what the world is about because I've lived through 2 economic downturns. Correct. 2, right? 2 major ones. 1999, 2009.
Yeah. Big ones.
Two
the
big ones.
dot-com and the financial, the financial one.
The financial one. But then,
and sometimes the horizons are even generational.
Yeah.
One generation may be just experiencing one part of the cycle.
Yeah.
Someone going early 1900s, going through the world wars, going through the hardships of that era, would probably not be able to fully experience the boom times that happened after that. Yeah, the next 30, 40 years. And someone growing up in the 50s, 60s, 70s will probably not have experienced the hardship and turmoil of the preceding 30, 40 years.
Yeah. But so this way is quite interesting. The terms literally boomer, right?
Yeah.
Baby boomer, and then millennials, and then Gen X, and then millennials, and Gen Ys. So the common refrain I hear from young people is that, boomers, they would never understand our situation because, we live in an era where inflation is so high. Cost of, you want to buy a house is nearly, you have to work your whole life to pay it off. Even the cost of education is not cheap either and all that. So what do you think of these complaints that they have? Are they warranted? And if so, how can they get out of situations like this?
I think there's always us and them type of thing when we start bucketing folks into generation categories. The Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. I think that the Gen Zs, the youths of today, the leaders of tomorrow, have a very tough environment and challenges that they have to tackle with. And some of the newer products that we have launched, like Pay Later, whilst to folks who have been used to consumer credit see it as a way of encouraging consumerism and spending. But to the youths, they actually see it, and this is based on some of our feedback and research focus groups with users, that they see it as a money management tool. So maybe I take a step back. Pay Later by Grab is a way to pay for your purchases either in 30 days or in 4 installments. And a lot of youths or younger folks today use it to manage their money and spend, because if I've committed to a piece of clothing or a piece of hardware and for this amount of money and decided to pay for it over 4 installments, I made that commitment in my mind to pay for it. As opposed to an open-ended credit line that, can be quite unabated. So in that sense, it's also helping them to make sure that they only take credit when they need it in the instance of buying. So there are some of these misperceptions between generations and the situation that that we are also trying to unpack ourselves, because it is also an insight that we only gathered from our users when we talk to them about it.
So what other insights have you gotten from your users that's surprising?
So that was pretty surprising, actually.
Yeah, because what you're saying is that instead of using the like credit line, which you say could go to like crazy levels, it is almost like a credit line that has a fixed deadline almost.
It's a fixed deadline, there's a fixed amount, and you only use it for a purchase that you've decided that you want to buy and committed to pay for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what other insights?
What other insights? That on the gig side, the drivers, that the delivery partners and the driver partners that we work with, they value flexibility and control. And this is something that in our generation, and maybe our older generation, they value security.
Correct, yeah.
And some level of certainty. But for some of these folks, they chose a career or chose a way of earning a living that allows them flexibility and control to do other parts of to pursue other aspects of life, whether to take care of their family or to support part-time education. But they need that level of flexibility, and they value it.
I see. So we've spoken about the flexibility, the trust, and I think Earn Plus was launched 2 weeks ago, like early May.
Yes, that's right.
And early June. So feels like there was a lot of research that was done, but what is happening behind it? Because it's from the consumer end, it's like, okay, I put money in the Grab wallet, it gets invested, I get money. But it's still going back to the thing about, okay, it's a tech company after all, and who's to say maybe now Elon Musk is not going to buy Twitter, suddenly he wants to buy Grab. Then how? Yeah, and that's where I think the traditional bank, if I were to put money there, I don't know, maybe it's a naive sense of security that, okay, this bank's not going to go anywhere. Elon Musk is not going to buy this bank. Yeah. So how is that squared?
The banks were also startups before at some point. Okay, but anyway, it's for us. Then it's important to work with trusted partners, established experts in this categories. Yeah. So like Earn Plus, the funds are managed by UOB Asset Management and Fullerton Asset Management. So there are established expert fund managers working on those funds.
Also, it's not Grab, it's a partner.
Yes, exactly. Where we come in is then we help to co-select funds and investment products together with our partners that suit the needs of our users. Things that are not too sophisticated, not too complicated, and suitable for mass market. And at the same time, we make it a point to select products that were previously investment-grade products that were previously only accessible to institutions, and then bring this mass market. And where our insight or value add is that we can help to distribute this at a fraction of the cost, so that then it makes it viable for our partners to reach out and serve all these consumers.
I guess the idea is because Grab has a relationship with your customers in areas that they use almost every day already, right? Whether it's groceries or meals and transport. So being able to offer these financial products from banks, which are typically, they're not in everybody's daily purview. So that's where Grab adds the value.
You mean you don't have the Fullerton Asset Management app on your phone, Terrence?
Or even the guy who calls me every morning gives me an update on the market and all. No, I don't.
No, but isn't it also like, let's say if I open Grab, right? Let's say I just want to get some cherry tomatoes, right? Then don't you think like having your financial product where I can see how much my assets are worth, I just want to get my tomatoes. Does that ever come up? Like people, the way you structure how in your face the Grab financial segment is with the other more day-to-day livelihood?
That's something that we really hope to get as much feedback from our users as possible. Some users like that one shot view of everything that is part of their daily lives.
Yeah.
Some users prefer a more segregated view. So there's never a right and wrong to this.
Yeah.
And where we need to work hard as a consumer-facing tech company is that we constantly iterate. So right now, GrabFin, as much as it is a brand launch, it is also a lot about the UX of the product, the experience that you have when using the app. We've consolidated most of these offerings, financial services, into one page. And in the bottom navigation of the screen, you can tap on finance, and it brings you to this finance homepage, GrabFin homepage, that you can then access all your holdings or accounts with Grab.
I see. So I don't know. I mean, right now there's a lot of options for investors, right? To do this sort of retail investing, this monthly thing. What makes GrabFin stand out? Because there are so many apps that you can, set up something that's automated, that guarantee a percentage return every year or something. Yeah, why should someone go with GrabFin?
I think so. Going back to some of the things that we hold dearly as we create any product is simple, accessible, and rewarding. One more thing that I would like to add on top is that it's embedded. Like Terence mentioned, you open your Grab app maybe once a day or twice a week. We want to make sure that everything that we create is embedded in your existing interaction with the app. So like Earn Plus is attached to the payments wallet. Like the ride cover product is embedded with your ride. Food priority delivery is also an insurance product. Like when you order food and then you click, I want to make it a priority order. It's also backed up by our insurance team. So these are the things that we try to really make sure that we can embed financial services in the existing interaction with the Grab app. That sets us apart. And that gives us a right to distinguish ourselves from the other offerings.
So do you see the other offerings starting ride-sharing apps to kind of converge with Grab? Because social media, like one app starts stories, every app starts stories. So maybe you guys started ride-sharing and going into fintech. Do you think some fintech companies might go into ride-sharing?
Possible.
Is that the first time you've ever been asked that question?
Not really.
Oh no! Okay, cool.
No, but it's true. I've literally gotten that priority delivery before, but it never crossed my mind that there was
It's insurance product.
Because if someone told me, "Oh, would you like to buy an insurance product today?" I'll be like, "Nah, yeah." I mean, I wouldn't want to meet up with you, that kind of thing, because we think of it that way. But yeah, I mean, I understand how it can be very integrated into your daily habits also, lah. And these things are actually helpful to you when you really need them, right?
So these are some of the consumer-facing products that we see. What's also very important is that in the current situation where fuel prices are rising and cost of living is rising, our driver partners and delivery partners also have to make ends meet. And whilst our teammates in the mobility part and the deliveries part is working very hard to give them more opportunities, where we come in is to help them with either protection for their loved ones or themselves, insurance products, or also with cash flow support for dealing with some of these fuel costs and other rising costs of living.
So it's an exciting time for GrabFin, for Grab financial products. But what kind of keeps you up at night? Like you say, you take a Zen approach, but because you're in such a field that ultimately everybody touches in some way or the other. Like even Terence buying priority food is related to the financial industry. What are some of the thoughts that occupy your mind?
The main thing that in a world of constrained resource and also where time is very important for our drivers especially, and also our consumers, I want to make sure that whatever we build or we roll out into the market is going to be the best use of that time and also our resources. That am I always making sure that the product that we are delivering best solves their needs today? There's so many things that we can build. But if I choose to build and launch one thing, I'm foregoing 9 other things.
Yeah.
And is this going to be the one thing that best serves that needs? And it's always that there's always an uncertainty around that. So we have to try. But after trying, we need to make sure that do we continue to build on that if it's successful or not? If it's not, then how do we then shift and tweak the product accordingly?
I see. So then what is on what's the future of GrabFin? Like right now there's Earn Plus, but then what else? Like is it gonna be the next step gonna be just taking my money and just I don't know, well, what's on the roadmap? Is it gonna make it even easier for people?
So on the investment and saving side, I think the what we want to continue to build on is that we allow our users choice. As the market changes or recovers, then appetite for risk may change, and we need to keep close watch on what kind of other assets or investment products we can bring in to serve those needs. The shifts in investment appetite. So that's on Earn Plus. On payments, and I see QR payments, cashless payments, buy now pay later as a broad bucket of payments. Is to continue to build flexibility and control and management of money into those offerings. So with your GrabPay wallet, you can spend anywhere, anytime, online, offline, at a hawker center. Decide whether you want to pay now or pay in quarters.
I see. So now do you exist like fully cashless?
Yeah, I didn't even bring my wallet.
Oh, you don't carry your wallet? It's just a digital. You are
totally.
We are like that. It's still analog.
Yeah, still analog. Paper receipts.
Yeah, I cannot imagine leaving my house without my wallet.
Yeah.
I don't think I need my wallet, but I just feel like I feel weird.
It's a sense of identity, lah. The bulge in your pocket makes you feel
the back
secure.
pocket.
Yeah, the back pocket.
Yeah, it makes you feel secure.
On even identity card is also digitized.
Yeah, correct. Now, even birth certificate now is all digital already.
That's the even your PSLE score also is in Singapore.
Oh, that one's
right?
quite creepy. That one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's also, I mean, like, do you ever feel there are certain things that you still prefer the physical version rather than a digital version? Especially to someone like you.
Time spent with family.
Oh, okay. Cannot be replaced by anything digital. That's for sure. VR. Metaverse. You see your kids in the metaverse. Maybe cannot.
Yeah.
But the other thing I also wanted to ask also was now you see we talked about rising cost of living. How has that impacted? I mean, from your vantage point, how have most people been impacted? For me, I went to Aston's that day and I couldn't order chicken. They ran out of chicken by like 6 p.m. already.
Oh, really?
Really. I'm guessing they don't even want to deal with the chicken prices. So they just like chopped it off the menu.
Oh, because chicken is still available. But for them, it's like, you know what?
What was the point of dealing with it? And we don't know how long this shortage will be as well.
Yeah.
Get people used to eat.
So do you bang table?
No, I just ate pork. I ate something else. Yeah. But I'm just asking, like, from your vantage point, like, do you see any consumption habits of people changing and, like driving less or anything like that? Or even yourself,
Okay, maybe start from myself.
Sure.
I find that now I think a bit more and be a bit more deliberate about making large purchase or investment decisions. Just because you know that the future is uncertain. That's one. Second thing then is also conditioned by COVID that I've come to realize the importance of spending time with family. Connecting not just virtually but also in person.
Is it just family or friends?
Family, friends, actually, that's right. Teammates.
We were just having a discussion yesterday that those friends that you haven't seen over COVID, now when I suddenly actually get to meet them in person, like they fly into Singapore, they're overseas or whatever, then they fly and then I meet them, like I almost feel like it's like, wow, it's like this grand reunion, like we went to fight a war and then we all come back together to see each other again. And then I don't know if you all feel that. Do you all get that sense?
I do also. Like I think like just is the thing that you grow older, you realize, oh shit, like and when you reach a point in time where you see your, like certain people maybe not living anymore, as dark as that sounds, it makes you look like at your own life, you're like, oh shit, there are these people I've known for 20 years, 25 years. It feels a bit more real that time is finite. So I totally feel now like that, the relationships are super important, and it's not that simple to just, like I know you for 20 years, okay friends, you hear, there are different friends for you at different points in your life, but it's made me cherish the people who have been with me throughout.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So financial services products are not meant to take away your time from these things that you cherish more.
In fact, the reverse. Right?
Exactly. It's supposed to help you live more, play more, have fun more. At the same time, it's easy enough so that you don't have to spend so much time thinking about it.
That is true.
Okay. So like one thing that you have said is that it shouldn't take time away from you. It should simplify. It means that it's almost like you want to set it up to be as or like as brainless as possible. Like, no need to think, right? But then now the big thing is inflation rates are going up. So just squaring that off with you're saying that there is a varied level of risk tolerance, right? But just now, maybe it wasn't clear to me how Grab solves that. Because if you still need to decide, am I low risk, am I high risk, still feels like, you need to make that decision for yourself, right? So you said, making that accessible and all. How specifically does, say, Earn Plus help you do that?
So Earn Plus is already designed that is fairly low risk. So we are clear that we are not going to go into offerings that are volatile and are more for the self-initiated.
Yeah.
The folks who are very into investments are not our target segment. The folks who previously found it either daunting because the information is just not within easy reach, or they don't have access, as in they do not have the means to communicate or reach out to these brokers, or the folks who previously were just not aware because nobody was teaching them that you need to start planning. These are the ones that we want to help serve. And hence the Earn Plus product was designed with this segment in mind. And hence it's also pegged to a certain type of risk appetite that we have in mind, and certain type of target returns that we also have in mind.
I see. So that means it is more of the low risk kind of options. But let's say you were giving a talk at a primary school, right? What would you tell the primary 1 students if you had to kind of tell them something about how to think about the world they're getting into? Of course, more related towards the what personal finance habits they should get into. Because you did say like you have your family now. Has it changed your way of thinking also?
The first thing that came to my mind was what?
What?
Good luck.
Oh, good luck.
No,
Drop the mic to the primary 1 students, like, good luck, guys and girls. Yeah.
No. But I think the future is awash with opportunities as it is with challenges. If I were to start, maybe to reframe this question, how would I talk to my 9-year-old daughter?
Sure.
Yeah, she's also primary school, right? I'll teach her that she needs to be adaptable. She will need to be resilient, and also not to take whatever she's seen happen to her parents, her grandparents as what's going to happen to her and her generation going forward, because it is completely different. Yep.
Well, we just give a talk at a primary school recently, and I think the big message I wanted to deliver to them is stay in school. Don't merely just whip out your cameras and I'm going to be a YouTuber and drop out of school. My thought was like at the end of the day, school, the building the networks, the social relationships, it's still a very big part of whatever future jobs people have also.
Do you think they got that message?
I don't think so.
because like we were telling them during the talk, okay, you know, even if you want to become a YouTuber, it was a career talk lah. We say even if you want to become a YouTuber, don't think about this one video that will go viral. You're not gonna get like thousands of subscribers overnight. You must think long term, you know. Then we went to Q&A. First question was, how do I get more subscribers?
Second was, how do I make a good video? Then I was like, okay.
Then I think at some point also you said, oh, that's something that I mentioned earlier and no one gave a shit lah. So that's why like interesting how you say you would communicate that to your 9-year-old daughter, because that sounds like a lot, right?
A lot, right? So so actually you're right. I find myself not always being able to be the one to give advice, because I learn so much from trying to give the right advice that she will absorb. Yeah, otherwise it just flies over, right? I tell, oh, life was hard, you know, you have to work hard. And
it just goes over.
It goes over. So we have to find ways to say, hey, you know, you're playing Roblox now, or you're doing this thing. What's going to happen when you talk to this person? Try to contextualize it.
Oh, so you anchor it in. Also, she's playing Roblox already.
Yeah, she watches YouTube Minecraft. Then she has she's some ration. Only on weekends she can play.
Oh, really? Yeah. So you have a system to ration the Roblox and Minecraft?
It's with the grandparents.
Oh, is it? So I mean, that's why when I look at my younger cousins also, I'm like, already I feel like, okay, the world is so uncertain now, but they are growing up in a totally different world. And I can finally understand what my uncles used to say is like, oh, you have no idea what it's like in the old times. Because now I feel like I'm that uncle now.
But it's a very different set of skills that young people need to navigate the world today. Like even just, you know, talking to you and realizing that certain things buttons I was just pushing on an app were actually like, you know, the financial product being offered to me without me even like batting an eyelid and thinking about it. I mean, it takes a certain amount of, know-how about human psychology, about how a whole generation of people think, what's important to them. I mean, so for you, like in terms of your own, personal finance habits and all that, how do you plan to impart those to, you know, your like you say, like your kid or the next generation and all that, you know, like what kind of daily habits are you trying to teach them now about personal finance that you hope that they can carry on with them to the older age?
Download the Grab app.
listen to this podcast.
So one thing I think is to be discerning with information, because it comes at you nowadays from everywhere. You just have to be a bit more discerning.
But how do you tell a 9-year-old to be discerning though?
I don't. Sometimes I'm concerned whether I even know where she's getting all her information.
Okay.
So that's one. The second thing is don't take things for granted lah.
Don't take things for granted.
For granted. Like,
meaning the boom times don't think that this is forever.
Boom times don't last forever.
Correct.
Doesn't mean every birthday you'll get a new toy.
Correct.
Doesn't mean that internet lasts. Your connection to Wi-Fi is always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at Ukraine. You know. Yeah. I was invited to my kid's friend's birthday party that day, and it was at a hotel ballroom. They booked out a hotel ballroom and then had like bouncy castle in a ballroom. Next to them was a couple actually getting married. You know, having. So I was like, wow, these two ballrooms, one is like for a 4-year-old girl's party. The other one was for like someone's marriage, you know?
Yeah.
So I turned to my son. I mean, he's less than 2 years old. He can't understand. But I just told him, this is not what the normal birthday party is like. Do not take this for granted that this happens every year, okay?
You just close his eyes, close his eyes, close his ears the whole time.
Just enjoy this one time that you get to go around Charlie's Chocolate Factory. But other than that, it's just a cake and a present.
You have a 2-year-old?
Yeah, I have almost 2, a boy. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. So I think about these things like you know, like how to prep him for this very quite difficult future that I foresee for him as well. Yeah. Right.
So in future, if you see a baby's birthday at a hotel, you're like, I'm not going.
Go eat the hell out of the cake.
But don't bring the kid.
But always remember that these times don't last forever.
Correct. Just play like the recording of Wenbin saying that don't take things for granted. Like, okay, see, Wenbin, he said this.
Yeah. Sorry, right, but that was number 2, right? Number 2, yeah. How about anything else? What else do you?
So let me try to recap. The first one was what?
Be discerning about news. Important because we're in an era of fake news and all.
Don't take things for granted.
Don't take things for granted. Correct.
Yeah. And be resilient. Be adaptable and super resilient because you need to always bounce back.
Need to always bounce back.
And we have gone through the past, like I mentioned earlier, past 8, 9, 10 years. That is generally quite okay and prosperous.
Yeah.
And my daughter was born during that period. All boom times, right?
Boom times, yeah.
So she hasn't gone through hardship.
But COVID was quite hard for her. Right?
That's true. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
No social, very little social support at all.
Yeah, that's true. So some of these things, events, they're no longer black swan. You know that they will happen.
They happen, yeah.
Yeah. Markets will crash. There will be conflicts. Inequality will give rise to all these things. Climate change.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite. That's why good luck.
Yeah. Number 4, good luck.
Good luck. Number 4.
So discerning, don't take things for granted. What was the third one? The
resilient.
Oh, resilient. And 4 is good luck. Good luck.
Or pray depending on whatever depending on your denomination.
So has your daughter ever told you, like, as you're telling her all this advice, like, you never went through primary school from home. Don't talk to me about it. Because like what Terence said, I think kids and COVID, what was the thing you said about like your kid not being able to see your facial expressions?
No, just human interaction, especially for like 1, 2 year olds. They look at your face, they see you smile, everything, then they understand what your emotion you're having. So when I'm wearing a mask outside with the child, he doesn't know what I'm actually trying to say, and he doesn't see my mouth moving and all. So I feel maybe a whole, I don't say a generation for a couple of years, kids have it harder with language lessons and all. Just being able to process different languages and what people are saying.
But your kid will be able to read eyes damn well.
He will, he can tell everything just by looking at your
just
eyes.
By the eyes.
He'll play poker, he'll be a poker player, and he'll make a lot of money. And
So then, like for our listeners who have been kind of hearing about the options out there and all, just in terms of any other things you think that the general consumer should think about when it comes to personal finance going forward? Given that you yourself said as the next few years are uncertain, there's a lot of things that we don't know. How should one kind of like any mental models to think about? I know earlier you said also that don't try and time the market, don't buy the dip. But any other things that you think, that you have learned over the years that you would like to distill to our listeners?
Continue to be open-minded to try new things. I think that's important. Don't the counterpoint to all the uncertainty and being safe is that you retreat into a shell.
Correct.
Don't do that. There's a lot of there continues to be a lot of excitement in the world of fintech, in the world of consumer tech, in technology that will open up new opportunities.
Anything that you've done recently that is like that you lives by the mantra of being open to try new stuff?
Or YOLO type.
Like just yourself, like skydive or
kayaking,
discover playing guitar or anything.
I made some investments into things that I wouldn't traditionally have.
Okay.
Have dabbled into, but it's important just to try.
So you forced yourself to be like open-minded like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also made sure that I continue to dog food our own product. Use the product that we roll out
correct.
in all the different environments and edge cases to tease out what are some of the things that we can continue to improve on. So like the GrabPay wallet, I try to use it at different environments and retail locations just to make sure that it's fit for purpose.
Do you like download a lot of different new apps on your phone and try them, all of them from across the world? Because I know Harish is somewhat like that.
Yeah.
You tell him any new app, he'll just download it and
just try.
Yes, I do. I try. Someone was telling me about Discord 5 months ago. I downloaded, but I don't know what to do with it. So,
Yeah. No, but I think it's a very important thing because I think don't say us but earlier generations, is that kind of like, hey, help me with the TV or VCR. I scared if I press something, it will explode. So I feel sometimes I have that relationship with my phone sometimes. Like if I download this app, it's going to like, the malware is going to like eat me alive and all that. But to me, it's like, actually, after a while, it's like, just download and try it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? And even if this one doesn't eat me alive, something else will eat you already.
I hope you listen to yourself in future. Because every time I'm like, hey, Terrence, try this app, he's like, what?
No, credit to people like you who like continually trying new apps just trying new things in digital space that make me also try. Okay, maybe there is a better way to try to do things also.
And then you come across something like Discord, which to be honest now, yes. I'm like, wow, it's taking a while to get used to it. I've used Slack before, but like Discord, it's almost a bit overwhelming. So yeah, still dabbling in it because it is damn popular, right? It is damn popular. Do you dabble in it or you just observe?
I'm still trying to dabble and trying to get deeper into it. But I think it is also about the community. Yeah. And well, another thing that I dabbled and was open-minded about is podcasts.
Yes. Listening and
also being part of.
And just now he brought up on his own accord the name of our NFT podcast.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
wow,
so I was like, oh, cool. You're a fellow podcast listener.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing is that a lot of people, they think they can't get into podcasts because it's like, oh wow, 2 hours, 1 hour. But once they find that there's this niche area they're interested in, suddenly they're hooked. They realize, oh, it's like back in the day when you could find a little corner of the internet where all your friends hung out, and then you all just hung out there.
The IRC chat,
or one chat room, you find. Then suddenly everybody's so interested in the same topic that you are interested in.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I didn't know this community existed. And then that's where when you talk about Discord, that's why I'm also excited in that the communities are starting to sort of like, find value in being together again. Because I think, social media added this layer of like, oh God, everyone is so toxic and all that for quite a number of years. So even for us as well, like using new tools, like, Reddit was quite new for us when we first started using it. Then we realized, hey, we are literally building a very healthy, very vocal community here that we could never build on any other platform like YouTube or Facebook or what. So why not just keep doing this?
Yeah, and it's cool. Just now you were saying, you guys get feedback. We get feedback from our listeners as well. And sometimes they call us out on things that maybe we jump to conclusions and all. And even though sometimes I read, I'm like, hey, that's a bit unfair. But I do appreciate that sort of feedback. And like what Terrence said, it's something we never got across YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Yeah. So even when we post this, I'm sure people will have comments. But it's quite civil, and hopefully they find this useful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of analog with things, media, that I can also draw back to financial services and payments, that things are built and layered on top of each other. Like our payments network is done in partnership with the fast network, PayNow.
Yeah.
And we've also come to realize that not one single party can create the type of infrastructure that is so pervasive. So the open partnership attitude towards financial services is important.
I see.
So then like, is there anything that users can look forward to under the GrabFin umbrella in the coming months that you can hint at, or everything is like super highly confidential now?
Well, there are the super highly confidential stuff, but there are also things that I can talk about. In the second half of the year, we will also be bringing our buy now pay later service in store. So instead of just e-commerce, which was basically what we focused on during COVID, because digital commerce was the priority, we're bringing that in store, so you can also use that in at retail locations, and that helps to drive a lot more usage and sales for our merchant partners.
Sure.
I see.
Oh, that means people can look forward to seeing that logo in actual physical retail locations soon.
Right.
Wow. And when Grab does it, they don't go one or two places. They go big.
They go big or go home.
Yeah.
Go big, paint the town green.
Go big or go and get your Grab and go home.
Yeah. Correct. Go big or go and get your Grab and go home.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Speaking of like, being open-minded and trying new things, there's one thing that we do at the end of every podcast episode, which is to share a one Shiok thing that we have experienced in the past week or so that we can share with our listeners. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. It could be a video you saw, an article you read, or just any piece of news that made you smile a bit.
Or something you saw on Netflix, a movie, or an old movie. Something that someone else can, this Wenbin, he sounds like my kind of guy. Then he likes this thing. Probably I like it also. Then he can go experience it.
Yeah. So to give you an idea, we will go first.
Yeah.
So you have a few minutes buffer to think.
Yeah.
Terence, would you like to do the honors?
I mean, I hope you're gonna to say what I hope your one Shiok thing is that one thing. But my one Shiok thing is a Netflix show that I just got into called Anatomy of a Scandal.
Okay.
I mean, it's I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm pretty hooked already. It's basically about it's a courtroom drama by David E. Kelly. I think he's that Ally McBeal creator. Or whatever.
ER also, I think.
ER also David Kelly. Yeah.
So
he's created a courtroom drama about a British politician who has an affair with one of his staffers, and then the staffers accuse him of sexual assault. So then you see the entire fallout with his family, with the parliament, and in the courtroom and everything. And it stars Sienna Miller. Sienna Miller is a British actress, very very famous one as well. So it's just interesting, because most courtroom drama you watch is from the US and all. So this one's actually based in the UK. So and it's kind of, I mean, the title sounds like it sounds like it doesn't sound as exciting for someone like me, but I just tried it and I'm pretty hooked already.
You never watch any happy shows? Everything must be scandal, downfall, scam, serial killers.
Like Wenbin said, the last 10 years have been so good. So I just been looking for all these things to balance it out.
But you just look at real life, can balance out, right?
That's true. I mean, look towards.
But
Russia.
it's a drama, it's a hardcore courtroom drama.
Yeah, drama. Do you watch a lot of Netflix or dramas or anything?
I watch Netflix, but I got commitment problem. So I cannot do series.
I
just do the one-off movies.
Oh, you can binge watch what? No,
cannot.
No time.
No time, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
cannot commit.
But yeah, but if you ever have time, I would highly advise people to try out Anatomy of a Scandal.
So my one Shiok thing, I think I know what you're talking about, but that one, I think because this is Mission Impossible. The Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah. So that wasn't going to be my one Shiok thing, but I will give it a shout out. The Top Gun Maverick is amazing.
It's amazing.
And in a long time, Terrence's recommendation is something I agree with, because the past few movies he said, wow, it's damn good. I watched it. I'm like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? But I watched it over the weekend. It was amazing. I'm probably going to watch it again in IMAX.
Yeah.
I watched the first one in IMAX. It was great. But my one Shiok thing is actually the fact that earlier this week, the week of, I think, oh shit.
Oh, is it your one Shiok thing is Lawrence Wong becoming DPM?
Oh, no.
I was like, earlier this week, Lawrence Wong became DPM.
Because we are recording this on 6th June. You're probably listening to this like a week or two after. But earlier this week on, I think 4th June, there was 3 pieces of news which made me just go in awe. It was the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo scored 2 goals in a match that Portugal played against Switzerland. 2 out of 4 goals. Rafael Nadal won the French Open. And as 14th French Open, 22nd Grand Slam. And as much as I am Team Ronaldo in the whole Ronaldo versus Messi debate, Messi scored all 5 goals of Argentina's goals against Estonia. And I think Ronaldo's 37, Nadal is 36, Messi is 35 this year. And it just blows my mind how they are not stopping. They are just going on, and it's just very inspiring because we are all in that age group also, and to see people like them just push on, and it just feels you have to respect that, and it's just one of these things that I want to cherish also. I'm so looking forward to the World Cup. I don't know whether Nadal will play Wimbledon. I think that's why an article saying if foot doesn't need injections anymore, he will play Wimbledon.
Yeah.
But it's insane. So that was my one Shiok thing.
Nice. Ibrahimovic also another.
Oh yeah, Ibrahimovic.
he won.
Ageless person, right?
40. And his caption was what? Like, I said I would and I did or something. Because when he joined Milan, he said he would bring back the Scudetto, right?
Yeah.
And then at the age of 40, you just look at these people, you're like, oh my, they are rewriting the rules of sports.
Exactly. And the basic, it teaches us mental fortitude, your dedication to the craft. You keep your body in tip-top condition so that then you can continue. Yeah.
Because I think people our age, I mean, say our age, our mental model is that athletes by 35 that are finished.
You're done.
But what we never realize is that nutrition, discipline, training, everything has also improved in all that time that we've, thought that, Jordan retired at 35, 36.
Yeah.
And now we get so shocked when we see people playing to 40. But actually, who knows? Maybe our kids they'll be playing till 45, 40, like 50 or something. Can you imagine?
It's crazy. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah. It's just on the tennis thing and also putting myself out there, right? Recently, I reached out to few new friends I met, and we all say we play tennis.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's just, weekend play only.
Sure.
Then we say, okay, let's go and play. Turn out that one is school team player, one is a tennis coach.
Yeah.
So it really got trashed, but it also made me want to,
get better.
Motivation.
It unlocked the drive. Unlock the drive. Yeah.
No, that's part of what we said is like being open-minded.
Yeah, and resilient.
Yeah, because I think back in the day when I was in school, you asked me to go and play with a school team player or ex-national player, I'll be like, please lah, why do I want to go there and get embarrassed? Now I want to go there and get embarrassed so that I can get better at it, Yeah.
How many chances would a tennis coach or school team player want to play?
Exactly.
Only the first time before they find out, then after that.
Then you start getting fewer messages or less. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, everyone?
Anyway, the one Shiok Thing is a bit more mundane lah. My wife recently came back from a trip to India. A teammate also recently came back from her trip to India.
Yeah.
Or her husband came back, and both of them brought back a lot of mangoes. So I've been hearing talk a lot about Indian mangoes being very sweet, but usually the ones we get here from Thailand, sometimes we get from Australia. So I'm going to try that. And then also I see it in the supermarket. So I'm going to buy and try. It's really shiok.
It really is.
It's really shiok.
It's really
shiok.
something.
Is it the Alfonso mango or no? Alfonso is something else.
It starts with a B.
But Indian mangoes,
Indian mangoes,
You never had?
I think I've had. The one you eat, you're like, holy.
Yeah, you cannot imagine that so much sweetness is packed into this fruit.
Not very big, and it's roundish one.
Yeah.
So, but you can get it in Singapore also?
I got it. So I think now's the season.
Also, you tried the ones they brought back from India?
I tried the one that brought back from India. Also, then I went to at Cold Storage also. I saw some, then can buy.
Okay.
Yeah. I see.
Go try if you can see.
Oh, Indian mangoes. Power.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's sometimes I'm amazed when, even in our 30s and all that, we eat new flavors, right?
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind that for your whole 30 years or 40 years of your life, you've not tried this flavor.
Like what sort of flavor? Recently?
I mean, certain because my wife prepares a lot of interesting food for my kid. So I realized there are red kiwis. Red kiwis. You ever had red kiwis? So yeah, I tried red kiwis.
But they taste different.
Slightly different, yeah. But just the fact that they exist just made me want to laugh.
So you're stealing your baby's food?
I'm not stealing. I think like what he said for lunch, for his lunch, your kid the one, right? Then you eat, right? Yeah, so my kid is like, whatever, every day. Then I was like, you should not take this for granted. Kiwi, I've never had red kiwi before. Don't take it for granted.
Wow, red kiwi.
Yeah. But it amazes me that there's still tastes out there that we all, as human beings, still haven't experienced. It's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You think about it.
And that's such a nice note to wrap up this podcast.
Yeah.
What were the rules again? Don't take things for granted.
Be
resilient. Discerning.
Be discerning.
And good luck.
And good luck.
And good luck, yeah. So, yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Wenbin.
Yeah, thanks, Wenbin.
Hope you carry on doing more podcasts and continue to listen to podcasts as well.
And play tennis. Keep playing tennis.
And play tennis. Yeah. To work off all the mango eating.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks to you guys for listening. Bye-bye.